There was this viral post yesterday from a Ukrainian veteran living in Canada. Citing the Times, the organizers of the maneuvers asked Finnish reservists who were playing the role of the opposing force to, quote, go easy on the American soldiers. The Finns were told to stop beating the Americans as it was humiliating and had a demoralizing effect on them.
They need the Op 4 to cooperate. Right. Otherwise, you're out there wasting everyone's time, money, ammunition, everything. It's not to keep the Americans feeling good about themselves. It's to get the Americans to actually get to do the job with their partners.
This is one that's right in Josh's wheelhouse.
Yeah.
So you've been following, Greenland was kind of a big story.
A little bit.
Yeah. So Donald Trump obviously raised awareness. Really the big takeaway here is not only has NATO been a failure because no one honors their contract, but more specifically Denmark, like on two different fronts. Since 1980, they've precisely met their allotment 0 times of 2% on military spending. It's a percentage of their GDP.
They're trying.
And what they promised in 2019 to secure Greenland, they've paid less than 1% of that, just to be clear. Less than 1%. So they don't pay their bills and they want to blame you. It's the only place where that exists. I'm glad that people are aware of that now. Or some of those folks at Davos kind of conceded it, but now Europe, trying to save face, they still want to brag about their capabilities in defense.
We fought Russia successfully before the United States existed.
Did you?
So we should be capable of doing it today.
Pilier européen renforcé au sein de l'OTAN. Les États européens membres de l'Alliance doivent assumer pleinement leurs obligations en tant qu'alliés, tout en étant capables d'agir ensemble par eux-mêmes pour leur défense.
Can Europe defend itself? My answer is unequivocally yes.
Without the Americans?
Without the Americans.
Then later he said no.
He was like,
I didn't say that. I mean, I kind of did, but I didn't mean it.
When I said unequivocally, I meant something else.
Yes, when I said unequivocally, what I meant was...
Weird.
No, absolutely not. We cannot. We are a nation of pussy boys.
Yes. Be like 5 minutes.
But I felt like that response might be too long, so I said yes. This was my mistake. British magazines are running covers like this. There, yes. Look at this.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I do think this backfired.
I think I might Photoshop myself into that.
Yeah, We've only made the president seem cool. Whose idea was it to put him on a polar bear? That's a magnificent piece. I said a hairless mole rat, you tit. And this was all. This all kind of stemmed. There was this viral post yesterday from a Ukrainian veteran living in Canada, citing the Times. This was posted on X. It said the Finns were asked to stop defeating American troops. During the NATO exercise Joint Viking in northern Norway, U.S. service members experienced noticeable difficulties, the Times reports. The organizers of the maneuvers asked Finnish reservists who were playing the role of the opposing force to, quote, go easy on the American soldiers. The Finns were told to stop beating the Americans as it was humiliating and had a demoralizing effect on them. Something doesn't smell right, but let's ask someone who might know a thing or two about this. It's time for Josh Knows War. Service.
Don't thank me. I love that. I love in that stinger. There's a nuclear something and a.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about nuclear weapons.
Yeah, Josh gets the coolest stinger ever. You should have seen Gerald's face.
It's full of lies.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Do you know that they're pretty cool?
I know they're very cool.
There you go.
I know they fuck shit up.
Yeah, they do. That's exactly right. Just like the Finns. That's what we're known for, is messing upward the ships.
Yeah. So they say the Finns were told to go easy on the Americans.
Right.
That might be a kernel of truth.
Right.
Right. But when they go on to say because it was humiliating and demoralizing and it had an effect on the morale, that's the part where I'm like, okay, that doesn't add up. So this is fishy. So I started looking into it, and I think we have.
I have some.
I read a couple articles.
Yes.
About the joint Viking exercise.
Well, first explain why, because you said again, this is something that's in your wheelhouse. You're like, well, no, okay, now that smells fishy. What? That's just not what would happen.
Because that's not how we deal with things. We don't go, hey, sorry, but the guys are feeling real low.
Right.
You went too hard in the training exercise, and they're really feeling bad about themselves. So could you guys lighten up? That's not the reason. They might have been told to go easy. I don't know. That's the quote that the Times is using.
By their own people.
That might have been told to them by their own people, or even by the Americans going because it's a NATO operation. So there was 7 countries or something like that involved. So it might have been someone in charge of it that told them to do that. But that wasn't the reason. The reason is because you're doing a training operation.
Right.
And what they were doing is they had a fire brigade, so field artillery brigade, and then they had, I believe, some infantry from the Marines.
It was like 10,000 soldiers from 7 countries. The U.S. soldiers included the 1st Battalion in the Army, the 6th Field.
That's all one unit. That's one unit. So 1st Battalion, 6th Regiment, 41st Field Artillery Brigade. That's one unit.
And then the Marine was the 2nd Marine Expeditionary Force. Yeah.
And the main goal of this operation was to work on the communication between NATO countries and how they would coordinate fires. When I say fires, I mean field artillery.
Right.
And so that's what the operation. So the Finns played the OP4, opposition forces. So OP4 comes in to attack. The Marine unit was there to defend their position and then call for fires with the American and I assume other NATO forces fires teams. They need the OP4 to cooperate. Right. Otherwise, you're out there wasting everyone's time, money, ammunition, everything. It's not to keep the Americans feeling good about themselves. It's to get the Americans to actually get to do the job with their partners.
Right.
To actually be able to, if you're beating these Marines in this little operation where their main goal is to just fight you off and call for fires.
Right.
In a training operation.
Yeah.
They're not. If you beat them, they're not going to be able to call for fires. And then you just wait. And you go, okay, everybody, we have to reset.
Right. Yeah.
Everybody, get back to your positions. We got to do this again. We got to use the rounds again. Oh, we reload. Get more magazines.
Yeah. And for me, I looked at it and said, okay, there were 70,000 U.S. Special Forces, and there were about 680 Finland troops total. And so when I look at that, I go, okay.
No, this is what we have.
Oh, sorry.
There was no special forces. Special Operations Command was not involved.
I was under the impression this was a.
It was kind of written like that to a degree.
Hit me. Hit me. I was under the impression that this was as they had actually they're kind of being involved with the.
No. So we listed the units there. It was second Marine Expeditionary Force and 41st, one battalion from 41st Artillery Brigade, which is in Germany. They went from Germany to Norway to do their operations. They pulled Marines from North Carolina, Camp Lejeune, North Carolina.
Okay.
And in the Marine article, I will say, no offense to my Marines out there, they did hype themselves up quite a bit. They're like, these Marines from Camp Lejeune are going to show off their Arctic abilities. And I was like, that sentence just doesn't make sense, first of all. I know they do some training and stuff, but, in this instance, training in the Arctic with the Finns and with Norway, that would be their area of expertise.
Sure. Right.
And I think most Marines, especially the ones that would agree with that. They go, okay, this is a new environment for us. We've trained in it, sure, but we're doing this operation so that we have more experience doing this.
Right.
And we can give them our knowledge on our capabilities and how we conduct these operations. It's like, hey, Finns, how about you guys come to Death Valley, Fort Irwin, California. You guys do a training operation with us there, and let's see how long you go without needing to stop, have some water, and cry about all your problems.
Well, not only that, I can compare it to, for example, if you're in jiu-jitsu school, if you're in an MMA school, and anyone out there who does combat sports knows this, you'll have part of the competition team, and let's say they'll say, all right, we have a tournament coming up. Then that's when you start framing in the rules, and you start training more specifically. So, for example, we had people who were competing like at blue. Maybe it's blue and purple belt, depending on the organization. They don't allow leg locks until you reach a certain level. So they go, okay, we need some good training partners to prepare them. We would have this guy who would try and beat all of these guys in training with what? Leg locks. He's like, they'll never see it coming. It's like, because for the last 6 weeks, they've been training within a rule. This is designed to prepare them for a specific task.
That is a great example.
You are not helping your training partner.
Yeah. Right. The point was a training operation.
Yeah.
You didn't see the Americans come out. We don't see us doing that stuff.
Right.
Like I trained with a bunch of people. I trained with the Japanese. I was a recon squad leader, and we trained with Japanese recon teams and sniper teams, because snipers and recon, they're in the same platoon usually, in headquarters battalion, or company. And we were teaching them all of our tactics and sniper tactics and stuff. And they taught us a few things in recon. We just took it and learned from each other.
Right.
We don't talk about it. Like that's part of it. Anyways, so they The point that I think I made the point. The point is likely was said, but was to ensure that training got done. They have a timeline.
Yeah.
They have to get it done. They have to train. And it's not just the Finns and the Americans there. Norway was there. I think Germany sent some people. The UK sent some people. Everyone's kind of coming together, and it's an operation.
It's them trying to save face, and the way they save face is by trashing in one capacity or another the American military. I've watched, actually, in the gym, a world champion train with people who are, and I've watched the coach come and go, hey, what are you doing? Come on, don't be doing that. We don't need his shoulder injured before the competition. It's not because he wouldn't mop the floor with everyone. It's because anyone can, spaz out or harm you, and they're trying to protect someone who is going out to accomplish a specific task. I've watched this with the best person in the gym, and the coach go, no. You don't roll. You don't train with them. You don't get to roll with them because you're hurting all your partners. We don't need that right now. We're 2 weeks away.
Yeah, I did the same thing on accident one time. So we had anytime we're installing the playbook, going into the next week's game,
right?
We have a teaching day, and so you go teaching speed. Usually it's about half speed, right? So people can get an idea of the look, and then we go full speed. After that the next day. And for some reason, my brain just shut off on that moment, and I went full speed on the linebacker, and he kind of caught me. He's like, dude, what are you doing? Like, we're going half speed. I need to understand the read here. So it's like you're missing the entire point. So I think, Josh, that's a great insight. Like, you guys are trying to train and learn stuff, so do it the right way to learn.
This feels like more like somebody, trying to prove something.
Yeah.
This is the point you were making a minute ago when you got admonished. The United States Special Operations consists of around 70,000 personnel. This is including SF, Special Forces, the Green Berets, Rangers, SEALs, CAG, aka Delta Force, JTACs, PJs. These are all of our special operators. 70,000 we have.
Right.
That's just special operations, which, by the way, none of them were there, and they wouldn't be there. The Finnish military, 680.
Yeah.
Not 1,000, 680 people total.
Right.
Wow.
Who definitely have something to prove when the Americans come to town.
Yeah. We're going to show them what's what. By the way, can you fly our planes?
We didn't even send you, no offense to these guys, but we didn't send you our best.
No.
And it wasn't about sending our best and proving something. It was never about that. It was, hey, these Marines need this training. Yeah. More importantly, it was these artillery guys need this training. So we're going to send in these Marines. They're going to get some extra training. They're going to do a joint operation. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be great. It was great for morale. The fact that they said the morale, I bet you it was amazing for the morale. Those Marines got to go in, be hot heads, be hot shit, talk with the other guys from the other countries. They all exchanged stories, had fun, threw hot dogs at each other. Probably. I don't know. They had fun.
That's what you did with the Japanese.
Frozen hot dogs.
We didn't send people to go prove something. It was like, we have real operators. They're doing something right now. These guys just happen to be ready and available for training, and they probably had a specialty in Arctic. Like, that's who they're going to send.
And by the way, it's also more proof that they're bad neighbors. Let me go back to the analogy that they're bad allies, because one of the rules in the gym is if you somehow get lucky and you submit, or let's say you get the better in sparring of a much higher belt or of a professional, you don't talk about it. You don't do that. That's why it's supposed to be a close-knit group, because people need to be able to trust each other. They will get mad at you. So if these people go out and they get one over on somebody, going like, see, we're better. Well, no, that also means that you are bad training partners, because that's what training is. You have to trust the people you're training with. And training is the time to learn new things, try new things. Competing is when you go to your A game. And as far as the track record of competing, of actually going out, right? Game day, no one compares to the United States military. It's not even close.
To be fair to the Finns, it might not have been all of them.
Sure.
It's very likely that, because these things get blown out of proportion, it could have been like a platoon where a platoon leader or a platoon sergeant, I mean, I don't know how their military works in Finland, but here platoon leaders are lieutenants. They're brand new to their rank, they're brand new to their position, and you got some hardened platoon sergeant, E7, sergeant first class, who's sitting there. He knows more than you.
Yeah.
It's like Ron Swanson at Home Depot. I know more than you.
Right.
And so those guys are a little gun-ho sometimes, trying to prove themselves. So it could have been that. Where the platoon leader was told, hey, you got to take it down a notch.
Yeah.
All right? Yep. You're not actually fighting an enemy right now.
Right.
We have to complete this operation. If we don't complete this operation, these guys don't get the training they need.
I can give you a very specific example. Pops Crowder had his groin torn off the bone by someone who you could set your timer to 30 seconds every time they would actually roll or compete. It wouldn't even be close. He'd been doing it for longer. My dad was stronger. He was larger. They were working on a drill where it was supposed to be, if you guys do jiu-jitsu, you break guard, which is where, you have to get past the legs and you get to some kind of pinning position. For those who've wrestled, it's similar. And in training, you're just supposed to kind of press the knee, right? Toolman, you know this, and then kind of get past, because in real life, you'll be resisting.
Yeah.
but you don't want to risk injury. And so my dad was doing it with this guy. He was newer. And the guy, to prove a point, in the middle of a training exercise, pop, wishboned him, tore his groin off the bone because he wasn't ready. I watched my dad submit that guy I don't know how many dozens of times. It's because that guy wasn't being a good training partner. And the rest of the world, if you want to train with it, you got to start being good training partners. Remember, by the way, this is what happened to the Cubans that ended up in the way of the United States forces in Venezuela. Let's keep this in mind.
Small boxes.
Yeah, what did we do to him there?
Too small for a body, too big for ashes.
Just stuff.
It's odd. That band is also bad.
That was not a training exercise.
No. This is what happened when it's real life.
No, but a lot of people had stuff to say about this. I don't know if you want to go through those, but
yeah, sure, I can do that. And I know we have to take
some ridiculous things these people said.
These are some of the posts. So this is from a guy in Canada. He said, he said, Americans are always overestimating the skill and abilities of their military there. The other NATO countries run circles around them. The only thing that the American military has going for them is their numbers.
Well, that's kind of important.
Their individual troops are basically mouth breathers who don't know whether their asshole is bored or punched. That's actually kind of funny. I worked with Americans overseas. They couldn't even clean their own weapons. One American soldier lost his shit when I completely stripped my FNC 1A1 rifle and put all the guts on the table to show him how it functioned. He exclaimed, "What are you doing? Are you armorer?" Me? No, why? He said, "We're not allowed to do that. Only an armorer is allowed." I said, "How the fuck do you clean your rifle?" He said, "Well, give it to the armorer." LOL, Americans are pathetic. LOL, he wrote, likely on his iPad using the internet.
Hilarious lie. And I know if you're in chat, please let us know if you're laughing at that, if you're a veteran or if you're currently serving. Because the idea of an American not knowing how to clean their weapon and then just giving a dirty weapon to the armorer is hilarious. Like, the armorer won't take your weapon back. Right. If it's not clean. The guy's in there licking the bolt. Like, we'll be there. We'll get back from an operation at 9 p.m. cleaning our guns until 3, 4 in the morning because this guy, I don't know, I guess his wife left him. I don't know what's going on. He's grumpy as hell. He hates his life. He's sitting in an armory holding us there because my M4 had a little too much oil on it when I gave it back to him. Absolutely ridiculous.
In other words, he's lying about
we had to
the
take
protocol. In returning your weapons. It's not possible.
And it's very rich coming, no offense to Canada, but it's very rich coming from Canadians who I actually worked with overseas, and the only thing they did was give out speeding tickets on Kandahar Airfield. So excuse me if I'm not taking you too seriously.
Well, look, a safe squad is a happy squad.
I did other things. I also went to Tim Hortons.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm sure, yeah. I remember that one.
It's just cope. Here's someone from Germany wrote, I guess the guy's name Fugaku.
Oh, forgot you.
He wrote, U.S. soldiers can fight only when they have overwhelming firepower. Take away aviation superiority and add a decently equipped enemy and they lose their shit. Who did they fight recently? Afghanistan? Iraq? You think those are helpless Judens? Please, what armies are those? And somehow the U.S. still lost.
The U.S. can only win when they have overwhelming firepower. You know, the basic tactic of war.
Yeah.
You know, the Americans can only win when they have all their... they can only win a gunfight when they have guns. Yeah, dude, that's part of it.
We don't need them when we have effective propaganda and kill an unarmed populace.
The Americans are mostly mouth breathers, unless, of course, that's if you don't count the thousands of pilots and nuclear...
I also understand it's
whatever. I don't understand what was in the Stinger, nuclear, those guys. But think about whatever they do.
To me, it's submarine. It's crazy when Finland was it the what plane were they talking about? Was it the F-18? To me, I remember going thinking wow, it's 2026 and you don't have anybody who can fly them. That's literally purely a training and intellectual endeavor. If we're mouth breathers, you guys should be able to learn that. I mean, there are video games that'll get you close.
Maybe you could borrow some of our mouth breathers to fly your F-18s.
I mean,
there are mouth breathers in the military. I admit it.
Of course there are.
When I was in basic training, a guy put his finger in my mashed potatoes and said, "Are you going to finish that?" And I said, "Yes." because I was going to finish it, and I did. But that guy was mentally retarded, still made it through basic training. It's crazy.
There are some of them.
They exist. I got it. But we do have the numbers. We do have the firepower. We do have more talented people. We are a bigger country. We have geniuses in the military. We have people flying F-22s and F-30 that can kill you from 7-8 miles away. It's like...
Yeah, I know.
We're all mouth breathers, though.
Here's a guy from Denmark, Niels. It is quite obvious that had the 11th Airborne from Alaska attacked Greenland this week, as they were on standby to do, they would have had their own hostile experience.
I don't even know what that means.
I don't even know what that means.
I think is that referencing, guys? Can you let me know? Is that the Ukraine thing?
No, that's the Holodomor.
What?
I thought I just heard Lane yell something.
He wrote
What?
Homstomal. I don't know what that means.
Hostomel.
Or hostomal. Yeah. Hostomal.
He says, "Read the map."
Yeah, well, that's what I thought. I thought it was a Ukrainian thing. This is it. Yeah, is that where? That's what I was saying. Is that where the Ukrainian, the conscripts, they actually inflicted like dozens of casualties, prevented Russian objectives at an airfield near Kyiv?
I thought
that might be the one.
Historically.
Yeah, I think that's what.
Yeah,
That's
so
what it was.
he's talking about this. These conscripts. They were not volunteers. They were forced into battle.
Yeah.
They defended an airfield that was, by the way, taken by the Russians, but they weren't able to move on.
Right.
They weren't able to move on to their objective.
I guess I don't even know why that one's included. It's just the guy's just a dick.
It's included because this guy's talking about the 11th Airborne from Alaska attacking Greenland, yada yada, and then references this event, the hostile experience, whatever. And that's not who we'd send.
No.
That's, first of all, they were not on standby to do anything. Second of all, that's not who we would send.
Yeah.
There are a few, no offense to the 11th in Alaska. You guys, I'm sure you're a great soldier, but it's not the first people you send.
No.
There is a unit in the military that their one main job is airfield seizure. That is the Army Rangers. That's what they do. When you need an airfield seized, you call the Army Rangers, a lot of times CAG or Delta Force, or maybe sometimes SEALs, depending on the theater. They'll set up a cordon, a security on the outside so no one can get out and in. Then you have Rangers drop in. They kill everybody. They land the planes. They pull everything out. And then we move on. No one called the Rangers.
Well,
If they did, you wouldn't have known that they were ready
that's
to
like
go.
your opinion?
Yeah.
They would have been in a plane by the time, they would have been on the ground by the time you even thought they were even a possibility.
It's just...
Our military is so
Hey, how about
diverse. It's like you
know war.
They don't have an understanding.
But here's my macro view, okay? Hey, don't talk shit until you pay your bill. It's been half a century. Yeah. Let's start with that. This has been Josh Knows War. Thank you for your service. You're still here on YouTube. Remember when we could say whatever we wanted on YouTube and people didn't have to censor out words like gay? See, even that, right? That's not even a swear word. Or the word sex. Even if you're just talking about it, you're not saying anything profane. That's why I live stream on Rumble 5 days a week. Go subscribe over there on Rumble, where you get the live show every single day. If you're still using this archaic form of delivery for information on YouTube, I don't want to judge, but your father hates you.